Hey guys, welcome back. In this session, we will learn about XPath. You might have heard XPath a lot when you are talking to some automation engineer, or if you are planning to go into automation side, you have read or heard a lot about XPath, and then you might be wondering what is the XPath. So today we will understand what is the XPath. XPath stands for XML Path Language. As the name says, it is a path language. So it defines a path to reach to a element. XPath are most popular locator in Selenium. They are widely used. XPath has lot of functions, and if you practice all these functions properly, you will be very strong in capturing the web element, which is very much required in automation testing. So XPath is used to navigate and select element on web page using HTML DOM. What is the HTML DOM? HTML DOM is HTML Document Object Model. So let's understand what is DOM. This is an example of HTML code from a web page, and if you see that the first element is a the first element is HTML. So this is called root element node. This is the root elements. This would be available in all these HTML files. So this is the first node of your HTML element. This is the root node. And second, if you see that it is a body, right here, it's a body, and this body is everything is inside this body. Everything, this code is inside this body. So this body is parent of this element h2 heading 2. This body is parent of ul, this one. This body is parent of this ol, and then here it's a closing bracket for body, so it's getting close. So everything is, it is starting from here and it is ending here, and everything in between, many elements are children of this body element, right? And this is the ending tag. So in HTML, there for each and every element, it should be a closing tag. It is mandatory. So it is starting, it is closing. Now what is this h2? This h2 is another element. It's another element node, and this text, whatever we are seeing between these two, between this node, this is a opening node and this is a closing, right? So this is a content of this element. Similarly, you can see that these are the another element li, which is under ul. So these are the children of ul, and that's how ul is the parent of all these elements: li coffee, li tea, li milk. These are the children of ul. So if and if you see, there is an one more tag ol, which is again containing list. L is all these lists, and this is also having multiple list elements. So ol is parent of all these list elements, and these are the children of ol, and they have one parent. So all these children become sibling automatically. So this is kind of a like family structure, whatever we see in our daily life. We have parents, and then parents have children, and then all these children are sibling of each other, like that. So this is also the same structure. So now when we are talking about the XPath, so this is the syntax of XPath. Because XPath use multiple functions, the syntax could be different for different function, but this is one generic one. So how do we use XPath? XPath start with double slash. If you see here, it is starting with the double slash, and then we add a tag name, and then square bracket at the rate attribute name and attribute value, and then the bracket close. For example, if I have a input element, and if I have to find out the XPath for that, I will add double slash. Input is the tag, And if that tag is having some properties or some attributes like name, ID, placeholder value, text, then we can put anything, whatever you are finding for that element, and then the value against it. So let's understand this on a web page. I have opened a Facebook page here, and as I mentioned in my previous video, that if we have to find out, if we have to use a element, and if we have to use a locator, we should find out its properties, its attributes. So how we do that? We have to right click and then inspect. I can right click and then I can do inspect here, and then it will point out that property of that particular that particular element. So if you see that on my right hand side, it has highlighted this particular element. And if you see, it is an input type. So what is the type of this element? It's an input type, and it is having other attribute as class, name, ID, data test ID, placeholder. It is having multiple attribute. We should always pick a attribute which is unique, right? Okay. So now how to create a XPath, or how to find out what is the XPath of this element? So what we do, we here in this section we do Control F, and as soon as I press Control F, you can see it is showing find by string, selector, or XPath. So one element you can either find by a string or CSS selector or XPath. So right now we will use XPath. So what was the syntax for XPath? Double slash and then tag name. So for this element, the tag name is input. It is showing input. And if you inspect login ID, the tag name is button, right? So we have to mention our tag name properly. Otherwise, it will not find out that element. So as soon as I will type input, it will show all these input element, all the element which is having input as tag name. It will show all these. You can see that it is showing me count as 6. So if I press enter, this is my third element. Third time I press enter, so it is highlighting this email address now. So this is the third element. Fourth is the password. There are a couple of others which might be hidden. So then we have to fetch this element with the help of attribute. So I will add square bracket here, and then I can use any element. I can use, sorry, any attribute. I will highlight this again. I will inspect this element again, and you can use name, ID, placeholder, whatever you want. For example, I will use name equals to email, and you can see that as soon as I entered email here, it was highlighting email address. So it means it is highlighting a proper element. And here also on this side, you can see that it is showing 1 of 1. So it's one element only. It's returning one element. It is very mandatory that whatever element you are trying to find out, it should always be 1 of 1. That's how it would be unique. Otherwise, it might return some other element. So then how this works? So as soon as we enter double slash, it understood that it has to be using from anywhere on this HTML document, right? Double slash means it can start its search from anywhere in this document. Then as soon as I entered input, it understood it has to search within an input tag. So that's why it showed us 6 tags. So our search criteria reduced to those 6 input tags. And when I entered this attribute, it was unique, so it find out our element. Now let's go back to that presentation. So if I explain with the help of this HTML document, if I have to navigate to UL, what would be the path? The path would be, if we are using XPath, then the path would be slash double slash ul, and after ul, if you want to capture this element coffee, then after ul double slash li, and then you can add this text or properties or attributes of this li, then it will return this element. So it will start, as soon as you will enter double slash ul, it will start the search from this element in this whole HTML document. It will not start a search from the HTML body from the beginning. It will start from the UL. And if you entered double slash OL, then it will directly start its search from this element. So there are two type of XPath, absolute XPath and relative XPath. We would be discussing about absolute XPath and relative XPath in detail in next video. I hope you like this video. We will meet in next session. Thank you.